And we are back with another amazing episode of The Closing Table. I'm your host, James Garman.
This is Daniel White. How are we doing?
Man, I'm doing amazing. I am doing awesome, fantastic, terrific. Anything that you can use in that terminology, that's me this morning. I'm feeling amazing, bro. What about
Yeah,
yourself?
that means you must have woke up at 4:15 and went to the gym. You're all ready, man. You're like 4 hours into the day already, huh?
Listen. I am live, bro. I am alive right now. I am smelling the fresh air this morning, and I feel good. I feel exhilarant, So honestly, I think if I can consistently stay on the 434, no later than 445 mornings, I can keep this energy going. But it's kind of tough though, man. It's kind
How
of
many
tough. I
days
can't
do you
lie.
think it takes to do it consistently to to continue it, right?
Oh wow, I would say they say it takes 21 days to create a new habit, but this type of habit, I think you need 36 to 50. I mean,
Okay. All right.
anytime anywhere between 36 and 50, I'm pretty sure you can keep this level of excellence up. And I do see that we have Mr. Isaac Ware in the building this morning. Good morning, bro. But this is somebody that texts me at 3:45 in the morning, and I wake up to a text message from him. So if I can get on his level, I think I think I'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's why I said I thought he was running to his next deal. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
that's that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah,
You
running to
know.
your next deal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm running to the
Uh,
next deal. That's what you're
I
supposed to
think
do.
everybody up's in the household over there. The wife is up. She's saying good morning.
Yes, everybody's up. Good morning, Destiny. Good morning to you. Good morning, beautiful Bernadette. Thank you, babe, for coming in and always supporting. If you guys don't know, we have some very supportive wives. And if your wives aren't supporting your grind and your success the way our ladies are, then you guys need to get some new women. I'm gonna be honest. I would.
I would agree with that. They put up with all the good stuff, but they really put up with all the bad stuff.
They really put up with the bad stuff, honestly. So I must say, salute to our beautiful wives that are tuned in this morning, and we hope that y'all are having and going to have a wonderful day as well. I do look forward to today's topic overall, and you already know how we do it, Daniel. What we need to do first is get people to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube so you guys can be notified every time we go live. And you can always be ready to tune in and give your opinion on the conversations and the topics that we bring to you every week, Monday and Thursday. We are on 2 days a week. We don't ask for too much of your time, but we want enough of your time so we can give you this information that we have garnered over the weekend and throughout the week. All right.
And it wouldn't be, James, it wouldn't be the same if we didn't offer a gift. So I figured I would offer a gift this morning for people hitting the like button, and I'll just show you my two business cards. There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Look at
So
there.
a little bit of a gift. I don't know. Everybody else on YouTube is doing it, so maybe it works. You know what I'm
Well, shit,
saying?
I don't know. Well, let me put mine up there then. Does mine look pretty good? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you not? Well,
I was,
listen.
I,
Yeah.
I was. There you go, man. Look at that. I was hoping you would, maybe just grab one of the books behind you and give us a little 5, 6 quick sentences of some motivation and stuff like that.
Oh
But
wow,
that's
man,
next
yeah.
time. That's
So
next time.
yeah,
That's
but
next
I
time.
have some pretty dope books, man. I don't have as big of a collection as I want. I'm adding. I've started doing more audiobooks, Audible. So for me, I these are the books that I felt like I needed to have in my collection physically. Like the one at the top there, you see How to Be Fucking Awesome, which is a pretty good book. And again, Think
Who's
and
the
Grow.
author?
I'm not sure actually. I don't remember who that. Yeah, Dan Meredith. Dan Meredith. Actually, there's something that I always fell in. I hate remembering the author of a book, and I don't know why, but I can remember the book, but I can't tell you who wrote it. I know
I'm with
Napoleon.
you, James.
I know
Well, we had that
Napoleon.
conversation last night.
I was I know Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich because I read it 4 times. But other than that, great book. Again, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Some of the things that are in my collection. What about you, man? Let's what we talking about that real quick. What's in your book collection right now?
I mean, I've listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad. Right now, I'm in the middle of reading Atomic Habits.
Okay, I got Atomic Habits as well.
Yep. So I'm reading that one. I try to, you talk about reading, listening to the audibles and the books. What I try to do is I try to listen to the audible like 3 chapters and then I read 3 chapters. Kind of just
back and
how
forth.
I go through the process,
And
right?
there's nothing wrong with that either, because I found like that's more of a productive way to get through a book versus trying to wait to every time you have a moment to sit down and pick it up, that you can just cut on your Audible, when you're driving, to keep progressing along through that book. So yeah, I definitely use that as well. Especially one of the main books I do that with is Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. That's one of the biggest books that I've pretty much ever touched when it comes to business. It's like this damn
I,
thing.
that's a good book. Did you and I talk that you listened to Kevin Hart's books?
Oh yes, I listened to Kevin Hart's book. I listened to the first one. What was the name of it? I didn't listen
So
to
have you listened to the 12 monsters or
No,
whatever it is?
I haven't listened to that one. No,
Okay.
no, I have not.
It is very hard to listen to an Audible book after you've listened to Kevin Hart's Audible book.
Exactly.
It's a game changer.
Because
so if
the
you're
way he
just getting
delivers.
into Audible books, don't listen to Kevin Hart. Wait
Yeah,
a
I
little bit,
agree.
because I think you'll be disappointed.
And I don't even know if it's an audiobook versus more of a live, like, TED talk, because the way he just goes into his chapters, you don't really know that you moved on to another chapter. You just kind of brings the funny, but it brings the storytelling into a nice mesh of delivery. Just a nice delivery in his books. I actually like Kevin Hart as an Audible book author.
I'm with you there on that one.
So, man, what you got going on this morning, bro? See, you got your coffee. You hit the gym. Did you get the gym going?
No, we went yesterday. We went on the treadmill. We did a little cardio yesterday, so that we'll hit the gym this evening. But yeah, man, rock solid, crazy day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we got an offer last night at like 9:00. Speaking of that, James, what is the correct way as a business in sales? When to send a text, when not to send a text. You think at 10:30 at night, a realtor should be texting me, telling me that, hey, I want a showing tomorrow at 3 p.m. It's not like 9 a.m. in the morning. It's 3 p.m. Like, you couldn't text me at 9 a.m. in the morning? What do you think?
I kind of feel like I fall victim to that. But again, I only do that if I can't find it on showing time. If I can't find the shit on showing time, then I'm going to reach out to the realtor. I'm sorry. You're going to have to wake up in the morning and catch my text, Daddy. I'm one of those guys.
Well, that's all right, because he got a message at 5:30 this morning, said, yeah, sure, we'll be available.
Right. That's when I'll text you back when I get up in the morning.
Come back and say something to me, right? Then I'll be like, wait a minute. Did you start this? like 10 o'clock's a little late, 10:30. Jesus. And 5 o'clock on a Monday. I'm in bed.
And I am one of those guys who, if my client texts me at night at 10, if I'm up and my client texts me at 10:15, 10:30, saying, hey, I would love to see this house tomorrow, especially if we already got it on the schedule to go out and see homes, I'm going to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and get it booked, so I don't forget in the morning, so that's just kind of why I would possibly do that at that time.
I'm okay with a customer. I'm okay with a buyer or seller.
Mm-hmm. But another agent,
I think there's a cutoff time, right? Like, my wife always says to me, she's like, "You're not saving lives, hon. You're not saving lives, right?" So I think at some point, like I said, at 10 o'clock, James, if it was you, I'd be okay with it. But somebody else out of the blue, I'm like, 10 o'clock, man. Again, it's not that you want an 8:30 or 9 a.m. showing. You want a 3 p.m. showing on a Monday. You could have waited, but that's just me.
I mean, and I totally agree with you coming with what you're saying. Again, that I don't like to be rude, and I'm not going to text my clients, and I'm not going to text anybody else, even realtors, that late, unless it's an emergency. Just the other night, I was texting a realtor. We was texting till maybe 10:45 because we was negotiating a contract. Yep. And I actually called her ass at 10:20 because I'm tired of reading her text and we're arguing. I'm like, listen, we're going to get this shit straight now, so I'm going to talk to you verbally. Like, I don't care if you land. I don't care if you land next to your husband or whoever. Listen, we need to talk about this now. So, but yeah, overall, I have had those conversations.
We'll say hi to the gun show, Fred. He's out there in Scotland right now, listening to us. It's noon. He's probably having a bourbon or two, right?
Oh yeah, that's crazy. He out in Scotland Yards. Okay. Nice to know. Enjoy yourself out there, man. Make some major money and make some major moves while you out there, but enjoy yourself most definitely. Okay.
And hurry back.
Hurry back. As I said, if you're looking to create a habit, it doesn't matter how many days you do it. it's the day you stop is you no longer have it. So how long does it take to create a habit forever? That's okay. I respect that. I respect that. Good morning, Mother. Good morning, Dolores. Hey, good morning, everybody out there. Everybody that's being amazing. I want you all to know that we're about to get into a topic today that's based around money, because we talk about money on this show a lot. And if you like money like me and Daniel like money, then this should be right up your alley. One thing
I had a message, James. You talk about money.
Oh.
I had a message, a private message that said, "All you talk about is money. All you talk about is money." I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm not saying that I'm better than you or you're better than me. I'm like, hey, this is how we're making money, right? Like that's what I wake up. I don't wake up and come to my office not to be successful, not to take my partners and to be successful. So at the end of the day, if we're successful, we're making money, and that's what we're trying to do. I'm just saying. I did get a private message.
Oh, wow, really? So
Yeah.
is that a good thing or a bad thing that we only talk about money, or that you only talk? Is that can that be considered a bad thing?
I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think you and I are in this business for ourselves. So it'd be different if we were just for ourselves and that's all that was, but we're not, right? Like, I mean, we have meetings, we have trainings, we have conversations, we give bonuses, we give everything. We talk about everything. We do co-listing deals with our partners. Like, I'd say that we're trying to bring everybody along with us.
And my thing is, when it comes to money, I think there's still this negative or this nuance or this stigma around having money, because people are majority of the people are comfortable not having a lot of money. And again, I was one of those people. I used to be one of those people that always found something evil about money, like why you shouldn't have so much, or maybe you should give back more. And I think that comes from the upbringing of not always having a lump sum of money, or having a suffice amount of money. So I think it's a mentality that people don't know they have, and how they retain that. Because I don't think a person that has ever had money or has currently have money has that mentality. I think it's very cool to give back, and I think it's very awesome to become a philanthropist in any form, no matter what you're giving back, whether it's food, money, or just your time. I think overall, people who never had a significant amount of funds at their disposal don't understand how money actually works and how much you can actually help other people if you have it. So yeah, we could talk about saving people all day. We can get on this podcast and we can talk about saving people, but you can't save anyone without money. I mean, that's just being honest. You can't help other people in their lives without talking or having finances. Is how I feel.
I got you. It's funny you talk about like helping other individuals and everything. I had a networking meeting on Friday, and when we came back, I think I've talked to you about off record about this gentleman. There's a gentleman in our area here, in our he bounces from place to place along the street and stuff. He's got his tent, he's got his bike, he's got all that stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And we were coming back, and we had all this breakfast for like 40 people.
Oh wow!
And like 20 people showed up. So we had tons and tons of food and everything.
Leftover, got you.
Right. So grabbed all the food. The daughter and I, we dropped it off. We met this guy, pulled over, gave him everything. It was pretty humbling, because a lot of times people will be like, oh, they're asking for money and all of that stuff. All the guy asked for was, hey, I love the food, appreciate it. Could I have some water? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm at a gas station, man. Yeah, absolutely. So I went in there, bought him a big gallon of water and all that stuff. Bought him a Mountain Dew as well and all that stuff. And it feels good, rewarding, right? Like
it does.
I know it's kind of off subject, but it's kind of rewarding helping out like that.
No.
But again, that guy, you talk about finances, that's kind of where I'm going is, I wish I had an opportunity to ask him, hey, look, do you want to come and work? Right? Like, there's so many people out there that I hear say, nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to do anything. Everything wants to be for free and all that stuff. So it'd be nice if some business owner here in Land Lakes will maybe offer this gentleman a job, do something, handyman, something like that, paint a house, paint a wall. I don't know what it is, but anytime I see somebody on the side of the road or something like that that's continuous, right? Like, because I know they move and stuff. Me, the wife, and the kids, we're always trying to help out and give them something back. So
that's pretty awesome, man. Again, it's nothing wrong with wanting to help. There's nothing wrong with, putting your best foot forward when it comes to helping other people. But again, you can't do any of that, Danny, if you wasn't making money. You couldn't really help. You'll be out there with your hand out asking people to help you, the ones that had money or opportunity. So yeah, I totally agree with you. And honestly, I'm glad that we're having this conversation right now, because that kind of ties into where we are going. Because I think there's a healthy level of greed in the world. There's a healthy level of greed in the world, and I think there's an unhealthy level of greed. Unhealthy level in a sense would be BlackRock, for instance. I don't think that BlackRock is a horrible group of people. If you all don't know about BlackRock is one of the biggest companies in the world right now when it comes to real estate finances and investments, when it comes to tech investments. NASDAQ.
James, I don't think you said world big enough.
World. What do we mean?
I mean, I think a lot of people right now, when you said the way that you said it, I think they're thinking just in the US. That's not the case.
No. World. The entire world, the whole planet. So yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, groups of individuals or people who have band together to create those type of investment groups or those types of real estate companies or investment groups, just overall, they have so much power that you can't even fathom. I think I told you yesterday, Danny, the people that the names that you've heard of, the people that you may even recognize in the media aren't the people you should be afraid of. You shouldn't be afraid of those people. You should be afraid of the people you never heard of with the money. And there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of I can't even call them rich. Like, they're beyond rich people out there who have a substantial amount of money that controls the movements of our stock markets, our real estate markets, just our financial market, period, our import, export, our media. There's a lot of things. And again, I don't want to make this a conspiracy type of conversation, but the truth of the matter is, that we don't control much of anything. And let's start with the housing market. Right now, we know the housing market is crazy and it's really up and down. There's a lot of people who bought their homes, and they, as me and Bernadette was just talking a little while ago, who are now over leveraged because they purchased their houses for $40,000 and $50,000, maybe even up to $150,000 to $200,000 over asking price. And right now in that same neighborhood, you can get the house right next door or down the street for 1/3 or half the price that the other person paid for during the pandemic. Would you agree with that?
I do. James, I want to touch really quick. You bring up BlackRock, right? And I know we're on that subject.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny that I started doing this year. It was one of my things. I look to see the handshaking that is going on. When you see these political governor, president, vice president, whatever it may be, House Speaker and all that, and they're shaking hands, like taking photo ops and stuff like that, I'm always like, okay, who's that person? What's going on? Because like you just said, it's the people that we don't hear about that we should be scared about, right? So like after we started talking about BlackRock and going through, and Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock,
right?
You go and look at the photos and the hands that he is shaking. Like that guy's probably has about 100 invites, if 1,000 invites for Thanksgiving dinner every year. Like that guy is shaking hands with a lot of people, man. A little scary, as much money as he has.
I mean, it's when you become the most influential person on the planet due to the fact that you have a substantial amount of income. The things you can do, the amount of pull you have to pretty much garner whatever outcome in any sector you want is pretty threatening and pretty scary. We are now living in a world where everybody is too focused on the everyday life, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you focusing on your everyday life, but I think we have a lot of people in the world who's focused on the nuances of everyday life, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's a point in your life where you have to open your eyes and start to look deeper inside or deeper at the bigger scope. I think most of us live on a micro level and not looking at the macro level of our global structure and figuring out who is who, what is what, and how things are moving. Because there's a lot of money moving right now in real estate, and it's not moving through the hands of the middle class. And the middle class is missing out on a lot of opportunities because of the fact that they are not focused on the bigger picture. They're focused on, again, the smaller things that that draws your attention.
Well, and that's also because there's so many damn scare factors out there. People are scared, man. You know what I'm saying? People are scared. If we want to talk about middle class, and we sit down, we watch TV. I've done it, right? Like, I mean, I did it all the way up until last year, where I was like, I'm not watching I'm not watching news anymore for any type of political conversations or anything like that. I'll do all my research, and I subscribe to what I want to subscribe to that comes to me in the morning, the news that I want to hear, right? You turn on the TV, it's save. Oh my God, we're going through this reset. It's going to crash. This is going to happen. I mean, we're still working. We still have goods. We still have houses. We still have electric. We still have food on our tables and stuff like that. I think that there's an opportunity out there there's an opportunity to capitalize on what's happening. And this is what that 1% of the population does. And this is why they are real wealthy. And, and so I definitely think that you have to do your research. I'm not telling you to go out there and buy stocks. I think James has said it on the show before. He likes the gold, the silver, the minerals, stuff like that. I mean, another one to invest in is art.
Yeah. So you've been seeing those as well? You've been seeing those? Yeah.
I have. Now, it's funny because you think about it, and in social media, what happens? All of a sudden, you start getting all of it, right?
Indeed. Yeah.
But my financial advisor had said something to me last year about it, because he kept saying, he's like, a correction is coming, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever. And he's like, listen, he's like, the art is not a bad investment, right? Now, and there's so many programs out there right now. I can't think of the art program right now, but you can invest whatever you want. They sell it, you get a percentage of it, right?
Right.
They secure it, they insure it, it's everything. It's not like buying a gold coin, right? You could put it somewhere, you forget it. It's lost in your house, right? Exactly. So, if you don't have a place to save it or put it where you know where it's at, go to fine art.
Right. Go find art. And I think that one of the platforms, and I definitely hate mentioning platforms because I hate giving people financial advice that is not really financial advice, but it's called Masterworks. Masterworks.
That's it. Yeah. That's the one.
Masterworks is the platform where you can go and invest into different fine arts like Leonardo da Vinci's and Van Gogh paintings that are worth multi-millions in a triple digits millions. And once those pieces of artworks sell, you can then profit off the sale of those art pieces. But yeah, when it comes down to it, Daniel, I totally agree. More tangible assets is what people need to start focusing on. I think right now we live in an economy where we have such an influx of funds, which is creating more inflation, because inflation is what people fail to realize. I think is inflation is premeditated. Every time we go through inflation, it's premeditated. The government creates inflation to help the economy stabilize. That's all inflation. That's all inflation is. It's a stabilization of our American dollar, or any dollar for any government. So what we have to do is realize that we have an influx of money going out and not as much money coming in. So there's a lot of what we call fake millionaires right now that's going on in the world. And I don't mean fake millionaires as that people scamming, but there's a lot of scamming going on as well. But there's an influx of funds that are coming into our society and into our economy that are coming from people who are making multi-million dollars from doing nothing, literally sitting on camera, talking like me and Daniel is doing. We're not making that type of money right now, but just the influx of opportunity that creates that type of income creates a lot of people who are I'm gonna say they're not financially educated to handle that type of money. when I've got my first 6 figures, when I made my first 6 figures, that 6 figures lasted me 6 months. It lasted me 6 months because I didn't know what to do with it. I had no idea what to do with it. I mean, it was money coming in, amounts of money that I never had before. The hardest thing to do is have money. The worst thing is to have money and lose it because you don't know if you're going to ever get it back. And you'll start trying to do anything you can to get that money back. And it's not going to come back if you're focused on the money. So on that basis, there's a lot of people who are focused on the money and not focused on the actual tangible resources that they have to actually make them more money. So for me, I feel like there's a lot of people who are making a lot of money for doing nothing. And it started with those damn Kardashians. I think the Kardashians made so much money from TV and from from reality TV, an unsustainable amount of money that just comes in at will. Now it created the opportunity for other people who do reality TV, who does Instagram modeling, whoever, just to create an influx of funds. But not all of those people have an intelligent mindset to know how to make those funds work for them overall.
I mean, their name speaks for themselves, right? Like, I mean, it's just there. And so that reality show, then what it bring? It brought makeup companies, brought clothing companies. Yep. I mean, it brought perfume. It brought everything to them, right? Like, don't knock them for capitalizing.
Oh no,
the opportunity's there. You
they capitalized the right way.
Yeah,
they took their opportunity of just being facial famous, from having the recognition to now they took their fame and made it into other brands and made other actual profitable companies. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can take just being famous into other arenas, because you have to be able to give someone something. Da Vinci was famous, but he was poor. Da Vinci didn't get rich until he didn't even get rich. I
was going to say, I don't think he got rich.
No, he didn't even get rich. Got rich. Right. Like, everybody else around him. And that's how it is most of the time in the art world or any type of thing like that. Yeah. People around you get rich and you don't reap the benefits until after you're dead, So it's like few far in between where we have people who actually can take their fame at the moment and what they're doing and capitalize and make multiple outlets of income, and let alone making great investments. Not everybody makes great investments. I don't know if I told you, 3 weeks ago, I took my client to see a beautiful house. It was a really unique house. They was looking for a house that could fit their in-laws. So they needed an in-law suite, but this house actually had an attached apartment that was like attached to the house, but kind of away from the house. So it was under contract once before from an investor. And the second person that it was under contract with before it fell through was a 9-year-old YouTube star, bro.
You did tell me that.
A 9-year-old YouTube star, bro. YouTube. That's what I'm saying. Like, this person was going to buy a $500,000 home until her mother went out and bought a Mercedes first. That's not.
So she went out and bought a liability instead of allowing her 9-year-old to have an
asset. Yes, that's what happens. That's how the deal fell through. So I'm saying, like, there's so much money going into our economy that is causing this inflation because the government needs to find a way to make people who making a lot of money not have a lot of money, make them feel like a lot of money isn't a lot of money. That's what you have to do. So now I got to work twice as hard to get back to the 6 or 12 figures that I'm working towards because I have an actual tangible career, and I actually have something that's tangible that can make money and that can benefit other people. Me being on YouTube and just saying, hey, I look pretty, look how good I look with my makeup on, doesn't create financial stability for anybody else but themselves.
Yep. You I lost my thought. Yeah, I totally blanked out there on what I was going to say to you, James. I
mean, it's all good, man, because I know, when it gets deep.
No, I was going to ask you. That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you get the house? The 9-year-old didn't come back into the play.
No.
You actually got the house, right?
Yeah. So my client actually went under contract with the house. Overall, they didn't get the house. Some things came up, but yeah, they was in competition with a 9-year-old. That's the crazy part about life right now. these kids are making multi-million dollars from YouTube. So I mean, again, I would love to be making that type of money from a YouTube, but what do you do with the money once the money comes? How do you invest the money? Is the money going to, it's just like hitting the lottery for a lot of people. A lot of people get the money and they treat it like they just hit the lottery, don't know how to make more of it. They just keep spending. You know,
I think the statistic on that, like they lose it like within 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years, no matter how much it is.
Yep.
I'm talking about triple digit millions, and they can be broke within 3 to 5 years. You know, it's crazy, but it happens to so many people. And I think we have to figure out at some point how to manage money better. And that even comes with, we was talking about what is your net worth at a certain age, right? Like,
Yep.
how your net worth is, like what your net worth should be at a certain age. Excuse me.
Yeah, because as the net worth, right? I mean, the numbers are so skewed that if you're 18 to 24, where should you be? If you're 24 to 30, where should you be? 30 to 39, where should you be? And so on, right? And I think the big problem is that people get caught up with trying to keep up with their neighbors. Right. I would much rather my neighbors go out there and buy boats and cars and all of that stuff. And I'm like, yep, I'm going to keep my paid off vehicle. I'm going to purchase my Kia. And instead of spending $50,000 on a car, I'm going to go buy $20,000 on a car, and I'm going to go invest $30,000. I don't know. It's just my thing. I'm going to stay with my 4-door sedans. I don't need anything fancy and nice. I do want a muscle car, but that'll be later on.
But what you're saying, Daniel, isn't absurd. It's not absurd. That's the thing about it, is like most people would think that's absurd. We have urban culture now. Urban culture has taken over a majority of our perspectives and most of our mainstream with the way we look at things, right? We have been taught that you need the Lamborghini. We have been shown that you need to buy a 19-bedroom house when it's only 4 people living in it. We've been shown that Gucci, Louis, and all of these name brand and designer clothes is the way to go, because we have so much urban culture pushing and advertising to us what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing with our money. But look at a person like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett still lives in the same neighborhood he's been living in for the last 25 years.
Does he drive a Cadillac to work?
He still drives the same damn Cadillac to work. And he doesn't have security. He doesn't have all of that. The man is worth multiple billions of dollars, and he still drives the same 2007 Cadillac that he's been driving for the last 20 plus years. You know?
It's a little crazy when you see that. Like when you see the interview, he did an interview with some news channel or something like that, and she came to the house and did everything. And like, it's like your grandma's house, right? Like, and I love my grandma, but original grandma's house, right? Like you go in and it's the old kind of wood looking tables and stuff like that. Like it's a little crazy that guy, as much money as he has, he still lives in an original house. I'm sure he has properties all over the place, but original house, original car, like crazy, man, crazy stuff.
So yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. So it's not about upgrading your lifestyle just because you have the financial means too. You shouldn't look at money in that sense that if I make $10,000, I need to go upgrade my living room suit. I know multiple people, and I grew up in this type of society. I mean, the society I grew up in is that 90% of the women that I grew up around were single parents. Like they were single parents, and they made under the bare minimum of what, 25K to live off of. So when they filed their income taxes with their child tax credits, I used to see these women get 8, 9, 10K back in return. This is technically a stamp savings account. Like every year, this is a savings account where the bank pretty much turns around and say, hey, we've been saving your money for you. Now you have the opportunity to touch it and spend it. And what the first thing we do, we go buy a new car. We go buy new furniture, new stuff that we've been waiting on. Like we've been clothes. That 10K go to $2,000 in less than a month. Like less than a month. And again, this is every year. I'm constantly seeing this. I've told even my family members, sisters, cousins, whatever. I'm like, you're getting this amount of money back every year. Put it on a house. Put it towards your down payment of your house. My sister now, after so many years, is finally taking my advice and she's buying her first house this year.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
Are you the agent?
I am the referral agent. So yes, I am involved in that deal. I you can't groom somebody for 15 years and expect not to make $1 off of it. So, you can call me greedy, people, but listen, you can call me greedy. But listen, I want to get paid.
I thought you were going to give back to your sister and help her towards closing costs.
Hell no. Not happening. Not happening.
Just a conversation maybe at the table for James' sister. I don't know. I'll bring it up.
Yeah, not happening, bro. This is the closing table. We close deals. We close deals not to give the money back. I don't even think I can do that. Not legally. I can't even legally do that.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, man, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of the fact that she's now at the point where she can purchase a house. My daughter, who's turned 18 this year, I really want to get her to where she needs to be financially. Going back to the net worth of individuals. When I was 18, 19 years old, my net worth, like you said, I was in the negatives. Well, what you say your net worth was at 18, 19 years old?
I was living paycheck to paycheck, my friend. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, right?
And it's crazy because 40% of American families right now, even middle class,
wasn't even thinking about it.
You can't. You don't know. No one taught you to think about it. Like I said, right now, 40 to 45% of middle class families in America is living paycheck to paycheck. But the perspective of what they have is all an illusion. The middle class now is an illusion. It takes almost it would take two families right now, possibly two families, to put together $1,500 from a month-to-month basis and say, hey, do you have $1,500 in your bank account at the end of the month? It's hard, bro. Like if you have 10 to 20K in the bank right now, you're not even middle class. You're part of the rich right now, like to be considered rich or wealthy. But if you can't barely put together $1,500 at the end of the month together, like you're probably going to be considered poor. But the illusion that you still have a nice car, you still drive the minivan, you still have the flat screen TVs in your house.
They don't have a minivan. I got a minivan, man. They don't have a minivan.
No, you should no. They still have the minivan. The difference is you can afford your minivan twice.
I do not have a minivan. I do not.
I couldn't even see Destiny driving a minivan.
No, I think that was in our vows when we got married. It was like, we're not having a minivan.
Really?
We'll have an SUV, but we're not having a minivan.
Oh wow. So no grand. What is it? I forgot what they call them. I don't even know the names of a damn.
Like a station wagon or something like that.
It's a station wagon?
No.
Oh my goodness. Grand caravans. There they go. Grand caravans.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of families right now that can't afford to live, bro. Like they can't afford to they're living check to check. And again, I don't want my child or my young nieces and nephews to be living that structure. So there's a blueprint out there for everyone to make money. There's a blueprint out there for everyone to make money, but I don't think we ever follow that blueprint. My mom didn't follow it. My dad didn't follow it. I didn't follow it because I didn't have it. None of us had the blueprint, but it's out there. As we mentioned, read a damn book. The moment you decide to pick up a book outside of something that's not science fiction, find a book that has some tangible assets. Those tangible assets, once you read it, once you gain the knowledge, creates that road. It creates that path to success. We just have to follow it. And we as parents need to start giving our kids these blueprints early in life and not waiting till they're 25 and 26 to have them read something of that level.
No, you're absolutely right, James. You're absolutely right. I mean, we as parents, we do have an obligation, yes, to try to keep our kids safe and all of that stuff and make sure they go through school and everything. But we also need to make sure that they understand reality. And not everybody can get here on YouTube and have 19, 20 shows and make $1 million. We're not doing it. Soon. Not yet, though, right? But, a lot of kids want to jump on and get onto this fast track and make all this money and everything. And it's not as easy as it appears to be. So I think as parents, we do have an obligation to make sure that we teach our kids the responsibility of working, investing, being smart, educating themselves. I said that twice because that's important, right?
Yeah, education.
Not everybody has to go to college and be successful in this world, right? We don't. That's not the way that it was. That 15 years ago, that's what we were told. You got to go to college. You got to get your education. You're not going to make it if you don't go to college. That's BS. I do want my kids to go to college if they are listening right now to this show. But you don't have to be successful and go to college, or go to college to be successful. So, it's important that, like what you're doing with your daughter right now, is you're teaching her the value of money and the importance of, hey, don't go out and buy a car when you turn 18 and you graduate and you get all your high school graduation money. Don't do that. Like, let's talk about buying a property. Let's start making you some passive income. Let's get you out of that middle tier factor and put you in that 1%. I was listening to something that said at 18 to 24, if you have not, you should be investing, right? But invest what you can. So if you can invest $100, at least get your feet wet so that you understand the ups and downs of the market and how it is. If you lose $100 at 18 to 24 years old, you're going to make that up tomorrow night at the bar, bartending or serving tables, right? Like most of us have all been there. So you're not going to miss that $100. You're going to miss it for about 8 hours and you're going to get it back. But you will start to understand how the market works when the economy is up and you hold or sell, right? And when the economy is down is when you buy. So, just kind of my perspective. I try to do it with my daughter and my son, just so that they could see the ups and downs of everything that's going on around us.
Daniel, where do you see us in the next 2 years? Where are we in the next 2 years financially? Are we going to be in a situation where a lot of people are going to be, we're going to see an influx in homeless? Are we going to see an influx in financial growth? I mean, there's a lot of information out there now. What do you see us in 2 years?
Employment side, I think we're already seeing it, James. And again, I'm just Daniel White, the Florida Realtor insurance agent, right? And do some reading with you, my friend. But we've seen it now with a lot of big time employers where they don't give 40 hours a week, right? So that they can save money, right? When they drop out, when they lay off 20% of their employees, keep the other, and then they start reducing the hours that people are working every single week. I think we're going to see more of that before we see, 50% of our employment or 30% of our employment being laid off and trying to find jobs. So I think in the next 2 years or so, I think we'll start seeing more people working part-time, like 25, 30 hours a week. I think the housing market, it's been really good, man. And it's tough to say that. There are buyers out there right now that are 20 to 30 years old that are dying to buy a home right now. So I think they help us out and keep us afloat. I think, I'm just going to say, man, in this reset process, James, I think we are right in the middle of it right now. I think we are right in the middle of it. And I'm hoping that within the next 12, 18 months, we've turned the corner and we're headed on the right path. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think my perspective on that same question when it comes to the overall outcome of where we are as a society, depending on everything else, due to the fact that we are in a major bubble with everything. Everything is a bubble right now. Everything has its time, its moment to pop and send everybody back 10 years, set everybody back 10 years. So for me, I think I look at it as I agree with you on the employment side. Right now, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. In Atlanta, Georgia, there's so many jobs available. No matter like what you're trying to do, you can go get a job. If you wanted to work at the damn post office, all you got to do is walk in and just say, "Hey, I'm here to work," and they're going to put your ass to work like immediately. So
they do, but they don't give, like here, they don't give you the 40 hours.
Right. That's what I was going to. You won't get the 40 hours, but at the same time, there's a lot of people here who focus more on the scamming aspect of life versus actually getting money the legitimate way. There's a lot of people out here who's looking to get the fast money. If they're not getting paid that day, they don't want to wait 2 weeks. People don't want to wait 2 weeks. They want to get paid once a month. Like that mindset is a dead mindset. And again, I've always had that mindset. I've always wanted to get paid when I did the work. I didn't want to get paid 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks later. That's why I work for myself. The entrepreneur mindset is heavy here, but it's also a negative impact. Has a negative impact as well because it's killing our workforce. Our workforce is dwindling faster than we can blink. Right now, we have a 30% employment drop in our economy, not because there's no jobs, because people just are deciding to not work. People don't want to go to work. They're making more money on unemployment and SSI and doing side hustles like courier jobs where they can just make a quick dollar picking up some packages, dropping them off of DoorDash or whatnot. So the notion that we have something tangible to offer the world, we don't. We have nothing tangible in America to offer the world other than showmanship. We have sports, we have entertainment, but we have nothing else to offer the world. Like, we don't produce oil. We're not producing anything of any tangible resources. Our microchips are being produced in Taiwan. Like, we have such a low caliber of resource development here that I could see our economy being dependent on some other country at some point. And with that being said, right now, I don't know if you heard, but America is trying to ban dual citizenship. Like, if you can't get dual citizenship in certain places, which is going to cause a lot of people to be forced to stay here. I'm not saying I want to leave, but they're going to be forced to stay here when the opportunities to make a lot more money in other countries will be present. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on in our society right now. And I definitely think our capitalist values of making money and making things here has dwindled down and is going to cause us to suffer really, really bad over the next few years.
No, James, you're right there. And I just want to speak on Gun Show, right? He just stated that maybe we are in a norm, and the ones that feel it most now in the future are the ones that are not planning on making a change to better their future, right? I think he's 100% right on that, right? In 2000 and what was it? 2001, 9/11, right?
2001,
Like that
2002.
time,
Okay,
the country like fell apart, didn't know what was going on, all of that stuff, right? Horrible situation, but something happens to the economy. At that point, I'm just moving on, living day to day. 2008 comes, market crashes. It wasn't until 2012, 2013, I'm like, oh my God, I am missing the boat on multiple opportunities here. Like, that's when I started. I'm like, okay, the wife and I are going to go buy properties. We are
yeah.
going to buy investment properties. So it takes a while. So I want to just say, Big Gun Show, right? It is very important that you pay attention to what is going on around you and that you make the change that needs to be to help your future.
I totally agree. You don't make the change to help your future, then you're going to be stuck. You're going to be put in a situation where you can't grow because you can't plant your seeds in concrete. We're in a concrete jungle right now where there's no real place to actually plant yourself and water yourself and grow. And that concrete jungle is becoming even more saturated with people who are forced to add more concrete. They just want to keep building on top of building. And when it comes to things like BlackRock, like we were saying earlier, they are buying up by 2029, I think, or 2027. They're going to own over 50% of the housing market in the world, not just in America, in the world, which means they're dictating every situation when it comes to real estate value in your neighborhood right now. They probably own 7 houses on your block, probably own 7 homes on your block, which means if you see them for sale or not for sale or just standing there, they're creating the value that they want the value of that house to sell for. they could literally dictate if your house sells for 200,000 or if your house sells for 400,000 because they own the market. They own the market share, and they're going to continue to own the market share because people, like most people, aren't looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is buy some damn property, buy some real estate, put your money somewhere where it can continue to grow and continue to capitalize and create a catapult type of scenario that can push you to the next level in the long run. Even if it's not for you, do it for your family, do it for your kids.
Crazy thing about BlackRock, James, and we're talking about it, right, is not only do they own this huge amount of real estate, but they also have a ton of money invested in other businesses. So much percentage wise, just for example, right? I think they own like 10 or 12% of Disney. So when decisions are being made, like they have a say so in it.
They have a say so in that.
It is absolutely crazy. Like, again, I would tell you, if you don't know about BlackRock, I didn't really hear about BlackRock, but I knew of Vanguard. And
right, Vanguard.
You think is huge, right? Well,
right.
BlackRock is bigger than them. And it's crazy where they are. They're investing in China now, like, right? They get approved to invest in China and all of that stuff. I do have to say, Larry Fink, though, his grind is real.
It's impeccable.
Anything out of it, it was his grind. Do I agree that, going back to the beginning of the show, should one person or one company have this much power? Absolutely not, right? But Larry Fink's grind is amazing. That guy was under the age of 30, lost $100 million to his investment company. They basically blackballed him from it. Like, he was not allowed in. And he's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And turns it around and now holds this power. Like, pretty damn impressive, man.
And this power, and this power that he has comes from us. We gave him the power. Like the investment bankers who blew and these people who wrote these bad contracts for these homes back in the 2008 crash. The government came out, and this is what I mean when we have a blueprint or something. The blueprint is now a new blueprint, but it's the same. When the 2008 market crash happened, we hear this saying all the time: in every bad scenario, there is something good that can come from it. Who is the person who's getting the good from it? The person who's understanding that every bad situation has a good outcome. Which means if you have that mentality, and to some people right now, you may be thinking, oh, that's immoral. That's not the right thing to do. You shouldn't do that to people. Well, I'm being honest. The right thing to do is to educate yourself properly before you go into any situation, so you won't be the victim of one of those bad situations. So if you go into a situation with more understanding and more knowledge of what you're actually doing, you won't be a victim of one of those situations, because there's always going to be a victim. There's always going to be someone who's getting the shorter end of the damn stick. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. But if you don't have to be that person, you can be the person that says, hey, I understand from 2008 that something bad happened. People like BlackRock had connections in the government, not because of their skin color, not because of their anything, where it was from, China, none of that. It was because they had the information, they knew what they could do, and they went to the government and told the government, give me this amount of money so I can go and bail these damn people out and hold on to these properties, because I'll take the risk on holding these properties until the proper time. And that's what they've done. They've been holding over 800,000 houses in America for the last 15 years. And now they get to dictate how the market is moving. That's the real truth. The truth of the matter is the blueprint is real. If this happens again, where are you going to be? What side of the stick are you going to be on?
What side? You want the short stick or you want the big stick?
Like where are you going to be? Are you going to be one of those people that said, oh man, what they're doing is wrong, they're taking homes from people? No, we all live in the same economy, that we all signed up on the same rules and the same risk of purchasing and selling and not saving. Everything that we do has consequences. Just make sure you do the right things to equal the less consequences.
Yep.
Risk
And again,
factor.
it doesn't matter if you make $1 million and you save whatever it is. It doesn't matter if you make $10,000 and you save it. Saving something, investing in something, just the smart way. Educate yourself. Like if you've missed the boats in the past, there's no better time than right now to
So
start.
right now,
Right?
start.
Educate yourself, figure it out, surround yourself by people that know what they're doing, not act like they know what they're doing. They actually know what they're doing. And yeah, keep the grind is real, my friend. The grind is real.
And if you're not with the grind, if you're finding ways to complain, then this is not for you, and that's fine. You are one of the type of people that are living check to check, and you're going to continue living check to check because you refuse to take that complaint and make it into an actionable situation. I don't like to complain anymore. I was a heavy complainer, Danny. I was a heavy complainer. I used to complain about everything that wasn't right and not figure out, didn't have the notion to figure out how to make it right. Like it's a constant back and forth with yourself. Well, the government's doing this. The government ain't got nothing to do with what you did with your money. The government ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you went and bought that iPhone 13, 19, whatever iPhone we own right now.
When you just bought the 12 last month.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the government that you wanted the sports package on your Comcast cable, and now your bill is $450 a month. No one's holding you to that. You can cancel at any time. These are not things that you're being forced upon. These are not forcible actions. No one's forcing you to drive, that $50,000 car when you're only making $22,000 a year. No one's forcing you to do it. Who's forcing you to do that? Those are choices you are making consciously every day to stay in debt in the wrong way. Get out of debt, but then go out and create good debt. There's a difference. There's bad debt and there's good debt. And I'm pretty sure 90% of our population is focused on the wrong type of debt. And There's so much information out there to get people to change their perspectives. Danny.
I agree, James. I think I'm motivated and ready to go change some lives out here.
Change some lives, man. Let's do it. With that being said, any final words, man, on what we talked about today? I mean, I know we went into a lot of situations, but I definitely wish we could have honed in on that net worth a little bit more, because I think a lot of people don't understand where you're supposed to be right now. If you're 30 to 35 years old, and it may sound young, and again, for most men, it won't be the case, but women are way more gradual. They gradually grow faster. They grow way faster than us financially, especially in this day and age. So the average 30, 35-year-old female out there, they have careers in nursing, they have careers in as lawyers. They finished school, they went through, they became prominent in their fields, so they're easily making 75 to 100,000 a year, doing something like that. So their net worth, they probably got the house, they probably got the car that's paid down, they probably got the cash saved, the assets in the bank, they probably have everything they need to say their net worth is easily 120,000. And if you don't know how to calculate net worth, this is how you calculate your net worth real quick, ladies and gents. What you do is you add up all your assets. You add up how much your car is, you add up how much your house is, you add up all the money you have in the bank, stocks, bonds, investments, right? Then you subtract all the money you owe on those things. And whatever you're left with, that's your net worth. So, say for instance, real quick, if you have a $300,000 home that you've been having for 10 years and you only owe $150,000 on it, there you go. Right there, you have $150,000 worth of net worth. Your net worth is about $150,000. Now, if you want to add the $20,000 car that you bought 5 years ago, or be like Danny and bought it 10 years ago, and you only owe $500 on it, then you have $100.
They're paid off, James.
They're paid off. So every car that's paid off, you add that to the $150,000 because those are assets. But that's how you calculate your net worth. Just add up everything you own and subtract the debt that's left on it, and whatever's in between is what your net worth is. All right. So with that being said, I think a lot of us have the opportunity to start focusing on our growth and our net worth and get where we're supposed to be. Just do it. Just go out there and do it. Just go out there and wake up every day and focus on your growth and not where you were. Show us the person you want us to be. You want to be. Show us the person you want to be, and go from there.
100%. Be true to yourself. Make it happen, and let's get out there and let's conquer it.
Let's do it. All right. With that being said, man, I think it was a great show. For everybody that's out there, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, and comment once the show is over. But don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell if you're on YouTube. For all our Facebook people, please make sure you share this to your page for someone who may benefit from this knowledge that me, Mr. Daniel White, been up here dropping today. And I think we dropped some jewels on them. But overall, do your research. Find the right outcome for your week. Find the right outcome for your week by preparing yourself over the weekend and get started right on the Mondays. So just like me and Daniel, we've been up since 4:15. We getting our days started right. We're finna be very productive and we finna win because we are winners. Other than that, thank you all for joining in on the closing table. This was episode 19. And until next time, we talk to you all later.